just to be clear. So y'all gonna give me an SEC topic, and I gotta rank the schools from 10 to 1, but I can't use Alabama. just making sure. Alright, what y'all got for me today? Let's see here. Best seasons of the SEC. It's gonna be a good one. Best seasons. So I'm definitely thinking about all the undefeated seasons first, then some championship seasons that didn't really go undefeated. But I can't use Bama, so whatever. At the number 10 spot, I'm gonna actually put two seasons together. 93 Auburn and 04 Auburn. So in 93, I believe Auburn was on some kind of probation or something like that, and they went undefeated, but they weren't able to play in the postseason. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I think that's accurate. And then 04, they went undefeated, but Oklahoma and USC were ahead of them, and then USC stumped out Oklahoma in the BCS championship, so everybody like, oh, maybe Auburn would have gave them a better battle. I know Auburn did win their bowl game against Tech, so glad all of that led to us getting to a playoff, but sorry, Auburn didn't have playoff in 04. But nevertheless, two great undefeated seasons, so I'm going to go ahead and throw them in there. At my number 9 spot, and I was born in 1980, so you can kind of guess where I'm going with this one. That's right, the Georgia Bulldogs of 1980. I know a lot of people like to talk about the offense and their great running back, but that defense, people need to start talking about that defense, man. 3 shutouts, and they didn't let anybody score over 21 points on their way to a national championship and an undefeated season. Shout out to the 1980 Georgia Bulldogs football team. And everybody was on them for going on a 40-year hiatus, but that's where I'm going to go next. At my number 8 spot, the 2021 Georgia Bulldogs. I can hear y'all now in Athens, but they should be higher than this. Calm down, okay? Just watch the rest of the list. Now, we know they did have that one hiccup in the SEC championship game versus Alabama. Alabama just came out ready to play, and, you know, they were able to move the ball on that great defense, but that was the only hiccup. And in the rematch, Georgia definitely had that SEC championship on their mind, man. I take nothing away from them. Great guys, a lot of guys that have gone on to the NFL, deservedly so. But what a great season for the University of Georgia and their great fan base, because they went through some heartache between those 40 years, man. Some of it at the hands of us Alabama Crimson Tide fans and our good team. But shout out to the 2021 Georgia Bulldogs. Ooh, this got tough. I'm going to go 03 LSU under Coach Saban. Can I say Saban? Because I can't mention that. Okay, all right, cool. Yeah, he was at LSU then, but they really were showing up to like just beat. They just seemed bigger and faster than everybody, which is crazy when you think about it, because everybody in the SEC is big and fast. So when you can compile a team that just makes everybody else look a little bit slower and a little bit smaller, you know it's probably going to be some domination. But yeah, that 03 team, with that one hiccup, I believe, to Florida, but they went on to win that national championship in pretty dominating fashion. So shout out to the 03 LSU Tigers. At the number 6 spot, I had to think long and hard and pray about this one, just like the BCS committee did to even get them in there. But 07 LSU, and why I'm saying it's one of the greatest seasons ever, because when you can lose 2 games and still get an opportunity to play, that's a pretty good season. Now, to their credit, during the regular season, they did not lose in regulation. Their 2 losses, people had to take them to 3 overtimes in both of those losses. So call that what you will, but I'm gonna still say it was a great season. They had a good team. Defense more so than offense, but you know, Coach Les Miles always had those guys ready to play, and he definitely made the case for them to get into the BCS, and they did. They had a lot of things go their way toward the end of the season, but at the end of the day, they're champions, and shout out to the 07 LSU Tigers. Number 5, I'm going to go '08 Florida. Cannot wait to see the ESPN 30 for 30 documentary on this team, man, because there was some characters and some real ballers on that squad, man. But we all know about that one loss, and even that loss that allowed Tim Tebow to give that speech after they did lose to Ole Miss, and everything he say to come true. I believe they got that speech like etched on a statue outside the stadium now, because it was a memorable speech, and he literally backed up everything that he said, and they went on through, beat Alabama in the SEC championship, and then went on to win the Natty. So yeah, man, I'm gonna go with the '08 Florida Gators. In my number 4 spot, '96 Florida Gators. Woo, what a squad, man. Offense and defense. And this was probably peak of the state of Florida just running college football. That run between Florida State, and Miami. This was the epitome of that season to me, man. They definitely looked unbeatable. And then they ran up against Florida State in their annual matchup and lost a close one. And then after winning the SEC championship, they were afforded a chance to get some revenge on Florida State, and they definitely did that. So all eyes were on the state of Florida that year, man. But when you're talking '96 Florida Gators, it was some bad boys. So shout out to them. Definitely got them on my list. Top 3, man. It's gonna be tough here, but let's get it. 2010 Auburn, man. I gotta go with them. Rivalry aside, man, those young kids, they had a great season. We definitely, as Bama fans, felt the heartache at the end. But when you think about the guys they had on their D-line, and even some of the linebackers and their receivers, of course the quarterback. Great season, man, top to bottom. Crazy finish to the national championship game against Oregon. Not going to take anything away from them, even though I want to. But as far as college football goes, it was a great season, man. So shout out to the 2010 Auburn Tigers. These last 2 spots were tricky, man, but I had to just really hone in on it and think about it. But I'm going to go 2019 LSU for this one. Again, I saw them played twice in person. They were the real deal. That offense, for the most part, was just unstoppable with Burrow and those great receivers who still, at the time of this video, lighting it up on the NFL level. So what else can you say, man? 2019 LSU. I got them at my 2 spot. At my number 1 spot, I had to give it to these gentlemen, man, because just the names on that roster and the fact that nobody thought that they were going to pull it off after they lost pretty much a Hall of Fame quarterback in Peyton Manning. The 1998 Tennessee Volunteers. My goodness. Nobody, myself included, thought that they could get to a national championship without Peyton Manning. Now, the cover was not bare. They still had a lot of great receivers, a lot of great running backs. But then here comes my man T. Martin and leading them to the top of the mountain. What an incredible season for the folks in Knoxville. And as a college football fan, it was something to watch, man. I always just love to see good college football. And that 1998 Tennessee team, they were all about college football. They were all about winning. They were all about playing hard. So rivalry aside, I got to give it up to them. What did you think? Who was in your top 10 as far as best season? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to know, because y'all crazy. I just love everything about him, man. He's got a great testimony with his family and a story to tell. And you just love when you see good people get good opportunities.